Kinney Drugs pulled back its AI phone assistant after hundreds of customer complaints. 2 local outlets covered it. The headline wasn't about a lawsuit or a breach. It was about customers calling a pharmacy and not getting what they needed. Hundreds of times. That is a day 2 operation story. And day 2 is where most AI projects actually die. Launching is day 1. Running the thing while real people depend on it is everything after. What was missing has a name: observability. Observability is your ability to understand what a running system is doing from the outside, from its logs, its metrics, its traces, its outputs. If your only observability signal is hundreds of customers complained, you didn't have observability. You had a delay. Good instrumentation tells you that call transfers are failing at 2 a.m. before anybody has to be angry enough to write in. And the fix itself teaches a second term: switching an assistant off, restricting it to certain call types, routing it back to humans. None of that changes the model. It changes the layer that governs the model. Engineers call that layer the control plane, the part of a system that configures, routes, and enforces policy, as opposed to the part doing the actual work. The lesson of this week is simple. If you deploy AI without a control plane, your only off switch is a press release. The failure mode showed up elsewhere too. An AI-based app spread false reports about a county fairgrounds. A small story with a big shape, because the app didn't attack anyone. It just confidently published something untrue into a community that had no reason to doubt it. Meanwhile, the incentives are already adapting. Time magazine is now running ads meant specifically to influence AI agents, advertising aimed not at you, but at the model that reads on your behalf. That is a genuinely new category. And the honest word for the worry is surreptitious. Done quietly, so the person affected doesn't notice at the time. A banner ad announces itself. Copy written to steer a summarizer does not. Which is why citation share, how often a model names you as its source, has quietly become a business metric. One report this week found consumers increasingly reaching U.S. News' cancer hospital rankings through AI chatbots rather than the website. If the chatbot is the front door, being cited is the traffic. Not all of it is defensive. A new Arizona-based AI platform aims to reduce voucher misspending and streamline the reimbursement process. And that word matters. A disbursement is a payment paid out from a fund to a recipient. Programs that make lots of small disbursements are exactly where review is thin and errors compound. Boring, unglamorous, genuinely valuable. And the week's honest quandary landed in the culture, not the code. A science communicator faced an AI controversy that raised hard questions for the field. And a $2.4 million book deal collapsed after the author's own agent pulled it over AI concerns. $2.4 million undone by a question about who wrote it. The rulebook for that one hasn't been written by anybody yet.
Observability: how well you can understand a running system's internal state from its outputs. From the news: if your only signal is hundreds of customers complained, you didn't have observability. One more: we added tracing. Observability went from guesswork to a dashboard. Control plane: the layer that configures, routes, and enforces policy, separate from the layer doing the work. From the news: deploy AI without a control plane, and your only off switch is a press release. One more: rate limits live in the control plane, not in the app code. Surreptitious: done quietly and out of sight, so the person affected doesn't notice. From the news: copy written to steer a summarizer is surreptitious, in a way a banner ad is not. One more: he took a surreptitious look at his phone during the interview. Disbursement: a payment paid out from a fund to a recipient. From the news: a new platform targets voucher misspending, programs with many small disbursements. One more: The grant's first disbursement arrives 30 days after signing.
20 new words, 1 week of news. Say them with me. The Fed desk, play out, equivocal, intransigence, ultimatum, capitulate, weigh in on. The bill for the boom. Compute capex, make the case for, take a back seat, bake in. The rulebook, spoofing, air gap, flag, ramifications. New chairs, new shapes, model distillation, form factor, where it meets the customer, observability, control plane, surreptitious, disbursement. And from last week, all 20. Back inside real news this week, on the same page, citation share, fraught, sign off on, day 2 operations, salience, loop in, upstream, contingency, cost overrun, reprisal, burn rate, ramp up, retrenchment, on track, pour into, quandary, pushback, fork, schism. You didn't just review them, you watched them work. Here's the promise that ends every episode. We'll circle back, return to this desk every Sunday. Same desk, new week. That's the week, that's the English. Every one of these words has a 60-second version on this channel. The playlist is linked below. New words every day, the full story every week.